Bit of a hectic week this week because I just started peds and I'm going on a trip to Tassie for the Bishno Food and Wine Festival this weekend. So I'm a little bit short on videos to post. So here I am. I'm finally going to do the Q&A that I posted about, but then I just never did it. So I have all of your questions. Obviously, I'm not getting through them all. But let's see how we go. Okay, first question. Where do you put your phone when running? I use the LSKD Rep Run belts. They're the best ever. Do you pay attention to your diet and snacking? In a sense, yes, because I need to fuel for my training. So I pay attention to making sure that I'm eating enough at the right time. So like I pay attention to my diet in terms of like pre-training. I always eat. Trying to get that like 0.5 to 1 mg per kg of carbs before training. And then obviously I pay attention to intra-training too, like gels and stuff like that. So I'm using Make Movement at the moment, which are great. Because I'm so busy, obviously working full time, plus trying to do all of content stuff as well, we meal prep all our meals. So we meal prep on a Sunday. So technically, like I plan my weeks of meals out, but it's not really for any reason other than out of ease. Favorite running shorts. I fear you may not follow me if you've asked this question, but it's fine. You won't catch me dead running in anything but the LSKD Accelerate shorts. I could literally never work with another brand purely for that reason. Like those shorts are genuinely the life and soul of my running. And I just can't imagine running in anything else. Have you always been a runner? Yeah, pretty much. My dad was a runner. He was a shorter distance runner. He ran quite competitively in 800 meters. Really fit family. So when we were younger, we used to actually run to school. We lived 3Ks from our school and mum and dad would just drop our backpacks at school. They would just be like, off you go, run to school. So we used to run 3Ks regularly. And then I always did well at cross country just because I was running, but I never really followed a program in a sense. I just went out for runs. So yeah, I've run since primary school basically, but not competitively. What are your goals for next year / the end of this year? This is a huge question. Goals for end of this year. Honestly, my number one goal for the end of this year is to slow the frick down. I feel like I moved to Queensland, started work as a doctor, did 75 hard, competed in like 8-9 events all within the first half of the year. Full throttle, no holding back. Goals for next year. Running wise, I want to do 1 competitive half, 1 competitive full, and I want to do a sub 40 10K. Because I've never done one. My 10K PB at the moment is in the middle of my half marathon race, which is just dumb. I've got some big goals like brand wise, but I think they're a little bit secret as of this stage, but I'll tell you as soon as I can. I have absolutely no prospects of doing a triathlon before people ask me, sorry. Absolutely not. Does not appeal to me one bit. How do you stay consistent with running, gym, and eating healthy? I feel like it's not the answer you want to hear, but like I genuinely love it. Like I love it so much. But I think the other thing for staying consistent, I literally just tell myself, like, this is just what you do. Like I don't wake up and go, do I feel like going for a run? Do I not? It's like I wake up and I'm like, I'm going for a run. This is just what I do. It's not up for debate. Like I don't let myself talk myself out of it. Like it's not like, oh, will I do it this morning, this afternoon? Like it's just like, no, you're going for your run. Get up, go. Like that's just what you do. I don't know if that works for anyone else, but it works for me. Running shoe rotation. I feel like that needs its own video. I feel like I've tried a very wide variety of shoes. There's only 2 brands that you'll catch me running in, and that is On and Asics. I've always been an Asics girl. I only recently tried On this year, and I do love them. The Asics Super Blast is my all-time favorite shoe. If I could only run in one shoe for the rest of my life, it would be that. How old are you? I am 23. I'm about to turn 24 in December. So I'm getting old. How often do you run? 4 to 5 times a week. 4 times on a program, and then if I've got run clubs or if I just need to clear my head, I'll go out on a short, easy 5th run. But 4 programs, so 2 easy and then 2 speed sessions a week. Fave snacks to fuel your running. I will never go past a crumpet with my maple gel and peanut butter. Just the perfect pre-run snack. Life goals. Literally the only life goal I have that like is my Roman Empire and I think about it daily is being a mum. Since I was old enough to have a doll, I wanted to be a mum. And it's literally never wavered. Like I know lots of people go through phases of wanting kids, not wanting kids, or like wanting to do other things. Like I would simply give up everything to be a mum. I would give up running. I would give up my work as a doctor. Like that, I know that that's my calling in life, and it's going to be everything to me when it happens. So, did you do sport when you were younger? Yes and no. When I was in primary school, I did every sport under the sun, basically. I grew up in a really small town, and there was like no sports on offer, really. But my parents, as I said, were very active parents, and they wanted us to do everything. So they either organised them or they drove us hours to get to places that did them. So we did dancing, we did swimming, we did surfing, we did triathlons that mum and dad organised. We obviously ran. We played netball, which we had to drive to. We did anything at school that was on offer. We did it. We did like after school sport was like a thing in primary school. So every single one we were signed up for. Like that, it wasn't like do pick one. It was like no, you will go to every single one, and we loved it. When I got to high school, sport was compulsory in high school. So I played netball originally because I'd played at primary school, but I realised that it was not a very nice environment. And the girls that were doing netball had been like doing netball forever, and they were only doing it to be the best, and I wanted to do it for fun. So I gave that up pretty quickly just because it was very toxic. And then I took up soccer, which I was asked to leave because I wasn't very good at it. And then I did softball as my summer sport, which I actually loved so much. And then I played AFL for quite a while until I broke my ankle. I played AFL. I was playing quite competitively. I was on the state team. And who knows what would have happened with that, but I ended up breaking my ankle. And then by the time I got back to it, like I just sort of dropped off in terms of like the standard, because I was a year behind after, rehabbing an ankle and all of that jazz. So never really got back into that competitively. Played it for fun at school, but that was it. Favorite food, pasta. Why do you never post of your dog? Because he's always asleep and I don't want to interrupt him. But look at the little schnook. He's my son. Sorry, mate, you can go back to sleep. How do you overcome the scary thoughts so well when running/exercising? I'm going to interpret this with how I interpret it, but I could be interpreting it incorrectly. In terms of like self-doubt and like negative talk while I'm exercising, I would say, one, I still really struggle with it a lot. But my number one tip is that like you have to create a really positive place in your brain. And I'm better at this on a race day situation because like there's a lot more riding on it. But just in general as well, like if you say enough times in your head positive things, you will start to believe them. I basically create a fake world where I'm the fastest runner in the world. Everything's easy. Everything's going right. My fueling is perfect. I feel perfect. My legs feel so light. My pace feels so easy. Even though it absolutely doesn't. But that's probably one thing, is just like faking it till you make it. The other thing is I gaslight myself all the time. Like regularly every single run I gaslight myself. So if I'm doing an interval session, for example, and like I look at it and say it's got 5 800s, and I'm like, that's way too hard. I'll be like, let's just do 3. We can achieve 3. I'll pick a number that feels achievable, and I tell myself that's all you have to do, right? I believe that that's all I'll do. But then when you finish that third 800, I can then be like, I've got 1 more in me. I don't have 2 more in me, but I've got 1 more in me. So then I'll do that one. And then I'm like, 1 more to go. And then you've done the whole workout. And then I'll do that one. So I regularly tell myself that I'm going to quit, basically. And then I just don't. I've told my friends to do that, and they've all said if I did that, I would just quit. So maybe that doesn't work for everyone. But again, like I can't quit. But if I tell myself I will quit, then it feels easier to just do 1 more rep. I don't know. It works for me. Have you ever had any issues around food? I think it's a universal girl experience to have issues with food. It's really sad, but I think it's true. In a sense, I don't think anyone gets through to being 20 years old without having some issues with food. I was a very small kid. I had like a lot of external validation about my size when I didn't even think about it. Looked at like my old young self as like a good version of what I should look like, and then obviously my body completely changed, and then I was constantly just trying to chase a basically impossible body because it was the body of a girl before puberty. I think as well I used to exercise for appearance, and so I didn't like training because I wasn't enjoying the process. I was just like chasing a goal, which was unachievable. And I didn't enjoy food because I was constantly thinking about how that would affect my body image. I definitely went through phases of very restrictive eating. I'm honestly so grateful that I didn't get my platform until I was through all of that, because I would hate to have spread that message to young people on the internet. And I think now I'm so like vigilant with what I post, because I know that the old version of me is following me now. And if I'd had me as like someone to look up to in that stage, I think that I would have potentially gone a very different route than I did. And I just think that there's too many creators still online making their pages about their body and about like fat loss and toning and like just body checking before their workout videos and body checking before their what I eat in a days. And I'm like, I just think it's honestly disgusting behavior for grown adults to be doing when they know how influential young people are. And like I'm quite positive that all of them would have gone through something similar. And so I just want to like make my own space of the internet where like training isn't about appearance, food isn't about appearance. Like everything I do is either because I love it, like if I want to eat something delicious because it's delicious, I'll do that, but also it's for performance. So like I'm training to get faster, I'm not training to look a certain way. Nothing my body looks like now is going to change how I train, because they're not linked. Like my training and my appearance just isn't linked. My diet and my appearance isn't linked anymore. Like I've tried to sever that completely. Like for example, on my marathon day, obviously did a massive carb load before my marathon day, and like the water retention, the bloating was crazy when I woke up that morning. And I can't lie, I had a lot of head noise about it. I was also very negative going into that race because I was undertrained, underprepared and injured. So I think that was where a lot of that was coming from as well. But I had so much head noise about my appearance that day. And then I went out there and without training properly, I ran a 3-hour and 14-minute marathon. My body has nothing to do with that. How I look on the day of my marathon cannot take away from the fact that I just ran a 3:14. Those sorts of things help with that sort of mental shift. And like I still struggle with it, definitely. Like Zach can vouch for it, my sister can vouch for it. I have days where I'll negatively talk to myself. I think if you're struggling with it, it's normal. Like don't beat yourself up about it, but also try and find a shift that you can like correct yourself with. When you catch yourself having those thoughts, just like have something that you can shift them to, so you can kind of like correct your brain, if that makes sense. I've been going from the top of the questions, so now I'm going to go from the bottom of the questions. When did you begin social media? Was it hard at the beginning? I feel like lots of people are like, oh, I just fell into social media. I posted one thing and it went viral. Not me. 2023. I didn't even have the TikTok app downloaded. The whole idea of TikTok just freaked me out. Like I didn't really get it. I didn't really know what it was about. New Year's resolution, I was like, I'm going to start posting on TikTok because it's something that really freaking freaks me out, right? So I downloaded it and I was like, I'm going to post every day, which is just wild. Like I didn't even have the app. I didn't know what it was about. I didn't really know what kind of content even went on TikTok. I was like, I'm just going to download it and I'm going to start posting. Back then I wasn't running at the time because I'd been injured and I was just like, hadn't really gotten back into it. So I was posting random stuff. I was posting like, get ready with me for work. I was posting about med school a little bit. It was just super random, whatever I could think of. Kind of drawing inspiration from other creators and not really posting me that much. It was more like, what are other people doing? I posted for a full year with under 1,000 followers. It was literally December that year I got back into running. I think like towards the end of that, like I realized that I wasn't really getting any followers, right? So then it stopped really being about the audience and it was more just about me documenting my life. Like I just kind of gave up on the fact that I was ever going to get followers. So I just started actually posting what I wanted to post. And the second I did that, I started getting a lot more traction. I started posting my journey back into running, and I was running like a K and a half, 2Ks. I started posting like my running outfits, and then they were getting lots of views, and it was just like me being stupid basically in front of the camera. I started little running vlogs, and I just had so much fun with it. And I realized that if I was just posting me, that's what people were enjoying. Like the more curated stuff just wasn't doing well. And so I think I went from 1,000 to 10,000 followers in like 3 months maybe, and then from 10 to 30 in like 2 weeks. And then I just started having so much fun with it. I got contacted by LSKD very early on. I think I had less than 10,000 followers at the time. They just sent me a little package, and one of the items in that was the Accelerate shorts. and it's just a love story ever since. So April 2024, I got sent my first pair of Accelerates, and now I have probably like 50 pairs. And so that relationship with LSKD was so natural. They just picked me off the For You page. I was a tiny creator at the time, and we just built this amazing relationship. I've gone so off track. Was it hard? When did I start posting, and was it hard? I began in 2023, and it was hard. I feel like there's a lot of judgment around it. It's actually not at all. And like now I have a second income. I've got the most incredible opportunities from it. I've been overseas for these races, which I never would have done. Like there's just so many things, and it's actually my literal life motto is it's only embarrassing if you're embarrassed. And like you cannot make someone embarrassed. You make yourself embarrassed, right? Like if someone is actively trying to embarrass you and you're just like, I'm not embarrassed, like they have literally no power. So it's not embarrassing if you're not embarrassed, and I think just do it. Like honestly, if I could have told myself then that I would be here, like, I mean, I did it not knowing that I would be here, but it's honestly the coolest thing ever. So how you and Zach met? Zach and I went to school together. We were actually in the boarding house together. We have like so much invisible string stuff. It's kind of crazy. So we grew up in two tiny towns, like 30 minutes from each other. And then we both ended up at the same boarding school. My grandfather was an obstetrician, and he delivered Zach. He brought Zach into this world, which is just wild. So he was acquainted with the Grove family very early on, but we met at school, and then we got together after school when I was in uni. Pretty boring, but love him. How did you meet new people in Queensland? Run club. All of my good friends now I met through Run club, or just people reaching out to me. Fave distance to run? Race, half marathon. Easy run, I think like 7Ks is like my perfect distance. Any plans to run the New York Marathon? Well, I'm trying to decide what international marathon I want to do next year. And at work yesterday, one of the nurses in ED, when I went to see a patient down there, who I worked with while I was on ED, was saying that she'd just done New York, and she said it was just insane. And she's like, it's the best marathon. Like, you've got to do it. So maybe it'll be next year. Unsure. How long do you see yourself living on the sunny coast? I think 3 to 4 years. And then reevaluate then. Zach started a business here, so it's not really a smart financial decision for us to keep moving if he has to keep reinventing his business every time we pick somewhere new. But my work can obviously be anywhere. Both jobs, I can work in any hospital around Australia, and I can do content from anywhere in the world. So we're very flexible. He can work from anywhere. It's just that like he has to start fresh again, which is tricky and takes like a lot of time and investment. But yeah, probably like 3 to 4 years. When is your LSKD collection restocking? Patience is a virtue. Possess it if you can. Can't answer that question, sorry. How are you so motivated? I'm absolutely not motivated. I have so much self-discipline, it's not even funny, and it is a fault. So because I'm a doctor, I know that if I have a cold and I go for a run, nothing's going to happen. Like, I'm like, come on, Grace, stop being dramatic. Like, people are like, oh, I'm sick, I can't do it. I'm like, yeah, you can. And so I know I can, so I just do it anyway. If I'm actually injured or sick, like proper sick, I won't. But like, unless I'm in hospital, I can go for a run. Like, it's really not that deep. I just like love to stick to things that I say I'm going to do. I get so much head noise if I cancel on myself. So that's basically it. Do you and Zach own or rent? We rent. We're looking to buy, but yeah, currently renting. How to balance, this is a good question. How to balance between being strictly disciplined, but also knowing when to rest. I think this is something I'm very good at, and I think it's something that some people take too far, both ways. Like some people are like, oh, I just know when to let my body rest, but really it's just because you're tired. Like that's not knowing when to rest, that's just not being disciplined. But then also there's being too disciplined that you're injured, you're like running yourself into the ground and you don't know when to stop. So there's a fine line. Like listening to your body isn't just because you don't feel like doing it. I think you just have to understand your own limits, and when other things start coming unstuck, that's a sign that you're overdoing it. Why did you and Zach move to Queensland, and did you live together in Tas? We lived together in Tassie for 2 years before we moved here. We moved here for my work. And I just applied for jobs here because I wanted a lifestyle change. And Zach can work from anywhere, so he came with me. Black or white socks? White. Unless I'm wearing black outfit, white socks. There's lots of questions about my workout split, but like it just changes so much. The only thing that's consistent is I do 4 runs a week, and then I do 4 something else's a week. And that might be gym, that might be Pilates, that might be walks. So it's like 8 sessions a week, and 4 of those are running. The other 4 depend on what I'm doing. So if I'm training for high rocks, there'd be more high rocks targeted. If I'm just training for a race, it'll be more Pilates and just like running strength in the gym. And if I'm not training for anything, then it'll just be like regular gym sessions. Do you struggle with anything as a runner? Injuries? Every injury under the sun. I am cursed, I swear. Like, I do not increase my mileage too fast. I do all of the right things in terms of strength training at the gym, but I am injured 24/7, so that's my running curse. What was your high school experience like? This is fun. High school was an interesting one. I was a very different person in high school. I had not a shred of confidence. I had a good group of friends, but I think I spent a lot of my schooling like without a best friend, and I definitely felt like I was never really in my friendship group. Like, I felt like I was an addition to the group. I wasn't really in it for a long time. Became really close with my best friend at high school, Izzy, and I think that she was the only person that I was like really fully myself around. I had the boarding house, which started great when I was younger, but just turned to shit. So I ended up partially moving out in year 12 to live with Izzy because it just wasn't good vibes. I was a massive nerd at school because I was trying to get into med. But I had a good balance even back then between like training, like I was running for fun, and then I was doing obviously school sports, between training, school, and social life. Yeah, it was pretty average school experience. I did well at school. I had a pretty good group of girlfriends. It didn't come without its drama, like, goodness me. There's so much drama within my friendship group. Luckily, I was never personally involved in any of it. I was just kind of there. But yeah, there's a lot going on. Who is the better runner, you or your boyfriend? I'd love to say me, but unfortunately he beat my half marathon time, so that's my goal for next year. Podcast recommendations: the Emma Watson podcast with Jay Shetty. That lady, I swear to God, we are soulmates. Like, we just think the exact same way, and it just resonated with me so incredibly much. Like, just please do yourself a favour and go listen to it. What sunglasses do I run with? Oakley EV Radar Path. The best. What would you say is your biggest accomplishment so far in life? That's really hard. I think graduating med was a huge one just because it had been a goal for me for so long. I think signing with LSKD was a massive one too. And then, I think my marathon this year was such a big accomplishment because the actual race should not have happened. Just like such a battle that it was a massive accomplishment that I did it. They're probably the big ones. Any interest in doing an Ironman? Absolutely not. You couldn't pay me to get on a bike. There's a lot about like how I juggle my relationship with how busy I am. Having the most amazing boyfriend in the world is definitely the answer to that. He's just everything. Supports me when I'm in phases of doing 50 billion things a day. Sometimes we don't see each other, like we live together and we'll see each other for 20 minutes in the day because I'll have been training in the morning and then I'll work a 14-hour day and then I'm in bed. We have a great like base to our relationship because we know that we're going to be together forever, so this is just a season for us, and like it's something that he's never going to make me feel bad for being so busy, so I can just do my things, and then when we have time together we make the most of it and we enjoy it so much. We also did long distance for 2 years. We're already so used to like making the most of a small amount of time together that we kind of juggle it very well. But genuinely, like, it's all him. He is just the most understanding person in the world, and I'm so lucky. I don't think he watches my YouTube videos, so he'll never know this, but yeah. I unfortunately can't take any credit for that. That's all him. I'm also like a wreck a lot of the time. I cry a lot when I get overwhelmed. I also just go mute sometimes, and he just knows how to deal with me, and we both just love each other so much, and our future is bigger than any like little thing that's going on this year or this month or this week. So I think it's like big picture stuff for us, and we know that we want to be a family forever. So that's about it. Do I plan my content? Literally no. Absolutely not. It's just whatever I feel like doing on the day. Who's my fashion inspo? I'd say my sister's up there, But then, like, I think we're, like, dual inspo. Like, she steals my clothes, but then she wears them cooler than me. So, like, I have the pieces and she has the creativity to, like, do the things with them. Ava Francis, obsessed. Who are your favourite running influences? Oh, I love this question. Favourite running influences are Brie, obviously. If you're not following her, you're doing something wrong. No, but seriously. Philly Bowden, obsessed with her. Mary McCarthy. Tried to organise coffee before when she was in Sydney, but it just never came through. I feel like we're the same person, and yeah, I love watching her videos. She's just awesome, and she's so freaking fast, and I love that. I love Nico, and then obviously all of my friends too, so shout out to them. What's your why? I think one of my big whys is that, like, I love to keep my promises to myself, and I love to prove to myself that I can do really hard things. Like, that gets me out of bed every day, like knowing that I'm showing up for myself. But I think the other one is definitely my community now. It's becoming a bigger and bigger part of my why. It's like knowing the effect that I have on you guys have impacted your mindset or your goals and helped you to achieve things when I then don't want to get up. Just one run for you, but that might impact 10,000 people. That is such a big why now as well. It definitely gets me out of bed. So thanks, guys. You're my motivation. How much sleep do you get? I have 8 hours in bed, but I'm a shocking sleeper. I wouldn't read about it. It's partially anxiety. It's partially just, I don't know, I can't sleep. So there's that. But ideally, I have 8 hours. It's just that I am in bed awake most of the night. Do you ever see yourself becoming a full-time content creator? It's definitely something that crosses my mind, purely because I'd be able to give my time to important things in my life, especially things like my relationship and like my family. But I think where I'm at right now, I'd be more likely to become a part-time doctor than to give it up. My career in medicine is going to be there forever. My career in this is very uncertain. I definitely want to embrace this while I can, but there's obviously training requirements and things that are non-negotiable. So for now, I have to be full-time. When I have kids, I will be taking prolonged time off because I want to be around as their mum. But yeah, it's all up in the air. I think right now I'm definitely not thinking about quitting med anytime soon, but it might be some adjustments in how much of my time it takes up. What do you think you would be if not a doctor? I honestly have no idea. I have no clue. I think if I wasn't doing medicine right now and I had my social media career, I would have quit any other job. Like, I don't think there's anything else out there for me. Do you think being an influencer, I hate that term, has changed the way you view things? I think it definitely has. I think filming my life has made me romanticize my life and realize things that I would just think are average, I can make really special. And I think having other people sort of feed into that has really made me be so grateful for some things that I potentially wouldn't have been before. There's like a second part to this question from the same person that says, are you more confident now after having so many people follow you? And I definitely would say yes. I think for so long where I lived and the people I was surrounding myself with, I don't know, I didn't feel like the true version of myself was really accepted that much. Now I've got this incredible community of people who are here for me, and I've connected with people who love that version of myself, that I've realized that I can be confident in who I am, not confident in like who other people want me to be, if that makes sense. So I think I would say it's helped my confidence. Now I'm just like confidently me. What's a word you use too much? Right now it's slay. So sorry guys. There's slayers and legend. I go through phases and that's the phase I'm in right now. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this. But love you guys. Gotta go get ready for work now. So bye.